We're back again with the hurricane edition of Shoot the J. Sorry to everyone who missed us on Friday like we normally come out with the episode. A lot of us did not have power here in New Orleans, Atlanta. Also, I heard y'all power got knocked out as well. But thanks for joining us for another episode of Shoot the J. I have Don Jackson as always, Tyrone Jackson, and always our first question is, what are you drinking?
A spitball whiskey right here, straight up.
Oh.
Been one of those days, bro.
One of those days. Don?
Well, we got a little Southern Comfort New Orleans brand made and some tea, baby.
Like you got that from the airport, bro.
That's what I said. That's that Spirit Airlines.
It's a gift from a wonderful coworker named Andrea.
Did
they bring it to the job?
Fly on Spirit Airlines?
Huh?
Did she recently fly on Spirit Airlines?
No, you don't question gifts.
They didn't give it to you at the job, did they?
We don't answer those type of questions. I'm a gentleman. We never tell.
Well, and I have one of my standards here. I've been drinking for a long time.
Dos Equis.
Yes, sir.
Double
So
X.
let's start this off with the latest thing that we just saw.
Oh my goodness.
The Saints, sponsored to you by Bayer Aspirin, heart medicine. Okay?
And Tums.
And Tums, yes, and every high blood pressure medicine you can imagine.
And not the low dose aspirin either. This is
no. Right, the one for if you've had a heart attack already. That's the one. Right. Saints pulled off another victory in overtime. Last minute field goal kick. The question today is: the Saints are now what, 6-2?
5-2.
5-2.
They're now 5-2. So the question now is: as the Saints are currently constructed, can they win the Super Bowl with what you've seen so far with them at 5-2 and the way the roster is constructed?
I can go first on that. When you mean construction, does that mean coaches as well?
Yes, it means with the coaching staff.
Yeah, I think that we have the tools for the most part, but I think the defensive scheme is trying to recreate our championship year that what we had with all these blitzes and these like you have a man coverage with a blitz and the man just goes in a soft spot, catches the ball behind. I mean, you're supposed to protect the line of scrimmage. You're supposed to protect the first down marker. I see none of that. At least Greg Williams would have like safety valves. You don't know where he's blitzing from. I was calling the blitz when it was coming up. So I think we have kind of personnel, but I think our coaches are just trying to recreate the year. And another thing about the Saints I don't like is that they don't step up for games that they should be beating people. Mm-hmm. It's for the big games they're going to step up for these little games. So I think that's a coaching problem. So if we can get rid of or get the coaches to do something or be held accountable for what their actions are, then I think we'll have a better team. But I think we have the pieces. I mean, you got two great running backs that can impose their will. You got the defensive line is not performing like I think they should, but they showed up in this game. You know?
Right. I got to agree with Tyrone in the fact that when you're looking at our defense, you cannot go far or deep in the playoffs if you having problems covering the deep pass.
Yes.
Look at that, guys, and even short 30-yard, 20-yard passes. I mean, it's uncharacteristic to me to see Demario Davis actually face guard Jimmy Graham when all he had to do was turn around and he had an opportunity to make a play on the ball. I mean, there's no excuse for that. And then the deep balls, we act like we're running with the man. We're not playing coverage to try to stop the man or prevent him from getting the pass. I mean, it's like we're a day late. I said this last time. We're a day late and a dollar short. You can't go to playoffs a day late and a dollar short. You have to be on top of your game. Now, did we eke out a win? Yes. But are we a playoff caliber team right now with this group of individuals and guys? I like a lot of them. I'm not going to say I dislike the players, but are we seeing them in the best possible framework and opportunity to win? No. Mm-hmm. Are we playing to our highest potential? No. Do we have all of our pieces? That's another note. But even if we have all our pieces, we got to be able to stop somebody, man.
Those are good points. I mean, you always talk about winning before you talk about Super Bowl, you talk about winning your division. And if you look at the NFC, look at who you have to face trying to come out of the playoffs. You have to face now Tom Brady, who's in your own backyard, who's just added Antonio Brown. At some point, you may have to go up and face Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, that's another quarterback. Right, that's gonna stretch you out. Also, NFC West, if you go out there, you got to face Seattle with Russell Wilson out there. Okay, and they like to extend the play, and hit you with a deep pass, which is something that we've been having problems with.
You got the Arizona Cardinals that's playing with.
Kyler Murray, you have that guy's turned to a monster. That kid has turned to a monster second year.
Which has DeAndre Hopkins with him as a bona fide number one wide receiver.
Yes. So you have to face these deep ball threats, and as we've seen, as Don said, face Jimmy Graham, they don't have to make the play. All they have to do is get you into messing up the play to get the flag thrown. So it's not like they have to make the catch if you get beat. And as Don said, man, how can you face guard like that? That happens when you get beat, when you're running as fast as you can to get into a play. You can't turn around because you're just trying to get into the last second. That's when you're getting beat. And that's a lot to ask for our linebacker to cover Jimmy Graham, back then in a foot race, in basically in the post, in the end zone. So
why aren't you in the nickel package? Why do you have a linebacker? And why do you have another, at least a safety or something? Well, Jimmy Graham is the reason why he left New Orleans, because he wanted to be treated or paid like a wide receiver. And that's how they utilize him. So it's not like Jimmy Graham is blocking for anybody. As soon as you see him lined up in the slot, you know that he's acting as a wide receiver.
Can't be in a nickel if you're blitzing all the time, though.
And the referees are not going to help us out, because we saw a play where the other tight end was fighting to get out of the grasp of a defensive back, and they didn't blow the whistle to kill the play. Yet when he gets the fumble out of it, they're going to say, no, he had forward progress already.
Well, I want to see what the Saints look like when Michael Thomas returns before I make a final opinion on it. Back when we did win the Super Bowl, which was that 2007, which was 13 years ago. Okay,
Man.
That was 2009. That was a time when the Saints was just going to chew up anybody that was in front of them. It didn't matter who it was. Now we have to look at the roster and say, we could win if we play this team in the playoffs, or we could win if we play this team.
I disagree with that, because
who's going to dominate. It's like we have to get a precise matchup and get some luck and maybe get a bye and maybe get a home field advantage.
No, that year the Saints was the underdog because Minnesota had Brett Favre. Brett Favre was clicking on all cylinders with Minnesota, and they beat Minnesota. Then they were the underdogs, also Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. So they played the underdog role. It wasn't like they were chewing up everybody. It was just like the faith Saints. You know what I'm saying? They believed that all they had was their team believing. And you can't recreate that season as being favorites. If you're going to be the underdog, you got to believe, just like the Miami Heat. They believed that they were the underdog the whole time, everybody that they faced, and they overachieved. And I think the Saints did the same thing that year, 2009. But now we're coming from a vantage point where we've been to the mountain, we won, we got all these genius coaches, all these high-strung players. I was talking to Don on the phone. He keep flashing on the bottom. Drew Brees breaks Tom Brady's record. I'm like, dog, they're going to play Tom Brady's playing tomorrow night. He's probably going to break that record. Stop showing these stats like this. You know what I'm saying? Drew Brees, he's giving his accolades, but we haven't this is his last chance to get a Super Bowl, in my opinion.
I agree with Ty, and the key is staying hungry. I mean, you look at we're able to buy into the hype, and people want to just praise you about records you're breaking and all this stuff. But what are you working on? And what's your identity as a team? And until we get that identity, where either we're going to be smash mouth football, or we're going to exploit you with underneath routes or over coverage routes, or we're going to be in the red zone and we're going to bend, but we're not going to break. We're not going to give up these huge plays. We got to get an identity now, and this is the team 2020 where we need an identity. People are hurt. They're trying to come back into the fold. The coaching staff has to give this team an identity, and we have to follow through on it.
Okay. Well, that's a good close-in on that. Let's talk about the rumor mill in the NBA. So far, the word is that the Los Angeles Clippers' main target is Rajon Rondo. Okay, to take Rondo from the Lakers. What are your thoughts on that? Would that make them contenders now for the West as you weaken your opponent from the Lakers? And does that give the Clippers the actual playmaker that they need so that Kawhi can play ISO and not be dependent on not have to facilitate the offense, and that Paul George can just be himself and not be carried to facilitate? Does that make the Clippers a contender now if they get Rajon Rondo?
I'll jump in here. Anytime you take a player like Rondo from the Lakers, you would be weakening the Lakers. I mean, Rondo stepped up huge during the playoffs. He was hurting during the regular season, but when he came in, he contributed with a high percentage and a high basketball IQ. Is that all the Clippers need? That's the question. I think they need more than a Rajon Rondo to really help them achieve success. My 2 cents.
I think that you have to look at what the Lakers would have done, because think about it. Rondo was a last-minute hire. They were trying to get Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard held up their deal where when they were trying to get a point guard and all the free agents that were out there, they couldn't make a move on him because they were waiting for Kawhi. And then Kawhi held them up, even held up Anthony Davis's deal. And so they got Rondo. But Rondo is not the healthiest through the season. So I have to ask the question, would the Clippers need him for the playoffs, or would the Clippers need him to create an identity throughout the regular season so they can gel for the playoffs? And keep in mind that the new season is supposed to start around Christmas time, right? So that's a hard time to just go back but like Don said, I remember when the Dallas Cowboys took Deion Sanders away from the 49ers. 49ers said, no, we don't need you to do offense. Dallas Cowboys said, you can play whatever you want to play.
Right.
You know? We weaken our main rival.
Right.
And then also we can have Deion Sanders playing whatever he want to play. And he can lock down Jerry Rice if he needs to. You know what I'm saying? Or at least be competitive with it. So I agree that anytime you can take Rondo from somebody, but you got to keep in mind that the Lakers didn't have Rondo on their sheet from the beginning. He was held up. Who can they get? You know what I'm saying? What's a big name that's out there? Bradley Beal, even though he's not a point guard, he's a big time player. So, Well,
how much? And the follow-up question is, right now Rondo's making about $2.5 million per year. He's like one of those throw-in players that they added to round out the roster around LeBron and Anthony Davis. How high do you go in a bidding war for him? I mean, the Clippers are talking about offering about $10 million per for Rajon Rondo with a chance to start, where Rondo doesn't start right now. Again, Avery Bradley didn't play in a bubble, which was also your secondary guard that you're going to use as well. So $10 million with a chance to start. Still have to sign Anthony Davis, which is his max contract time. So you have to keep that in mind as well. And LeBron is locked up for the next 2 years. And if you want to make a big splash vis-a-vis Bradley Beal, which everyone is rumored to say he's going out next, how much do you pay for Rondo?
Well, if you can get a Van Vliet, then why do you need that? Or if you can somehow make a trade to get a Chris Paul there, I don't think Rondo is sustainable. I think Contavious Caldwell-Pope, they should he's up for free agency. Right. And it's rumored that the Atlanta Hawks are trying to get him, which I think would be a great move for the Atlanta Hawks. I think he is valuable. Now, Rondo was valuable in the playoffs, but LeBron is going to get you to the playoffs regardless.
True.
So Rondo is a luxury at this point, and he had great minutes, whatever. But the Clippers won't have that luxury. You have Tyronn Lue, the coach now, who's a heady guard, who's going to really accentuate the guard play from Rondo.
Yes.
But will he be healthy? He just barely made it back in the bubble.
The broken thumb, yep.
Yeah.
Don?
I agree with y'all saying how much money do you really want to throw out there? And then what's available to you? Is Rondo valuable to Lakers? and especially after, helping them win a championship, absolutely. Can you replace his veteran savviness with a young up-and-comer or somebody who has some talent that's already existing in the NBA? Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
The connection is there between him and LeBron and him and AD. And when you start breaking up those connections, you have a lot more, you have more issues behind the scenes and on the court when you start breaking up those pieces where people have natural connections. So
right.
I would be very weary of the Lakers just letting Rondo go. I think they're going to try to match dollar for dollar to keep him because they understand how valuable he is. And I'd like to see who they're going to kind of let go this season and what pieces they're going to try to bargain for, because as you know, they have LeBron, they have AD, and they have Rondo. So you can build around that. Does he have to be healthy the whole entire season? No. As long as he's healthy during playoff times, you can make a deep run for it.
Can I mention some of the free agent point guards that they have available?
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Jeff Teague, Goran Dragic, Brandon Knight, Jordan Clarkson, Dellavedova, Van Vliet, DJ Augustine, De'Aaron Fox, Chris Dunn, Yogi Ferrell, Rajon Rondo, Jose Barea, and Michael Carter-Williams.
You see, that list to me, Van Vliet and Rondo are the only game changers for me on that list. See, the rest of those guys, to me, are scoring guards. DeAndre Fox, scoring guard. Who's the other? Teague, scoring guard. Jordan Clarkson, definitely a scoring guard. What Rondo excelled at is making plays for other people so that LeBron can take a rest and have to facilitate every single second that he's on the court. All of those guards you mentioned, except for Van Vliet, who also scores a lot as well, are scoring guards, and that's not what the Lakers need. You can just keep KCP and Avery Bradley for that list, of guards, and you can keep Caruso for that list of guards. You know what I mean? So in my mind, none of those are like to tap a pool that you can tap to help the Lakers. All right, guys, we got our guest coming in right now. Let me admit him.
Well, Hurricane Zeta Phi Beta is dealing with this stuff, huh?
That's right. It's cable. His Cox just got turned on. Cox cable just got turned on.
It's going to take him a minute.
What is Cox called now? Is it still Cox or is it called something else now?
Still Cox.
Cox.
Hello?
Where you at?
What's going on, fellas?
What's happening?
What's happening?
You got to get your video together here. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, boy, I'm ugly. What's happening?
What's happening?
What's going on?
Brandon Haynes. I want to introduce Brandon Haynes to the public out there. One of
made
the
it.
finest minds that St. Aug has ever produced.
Yeah.
ITI.
89.
He's a knight. All right.
That's
Class
right.
89.
Brandon actually was supposed to go check out the the Deontay Wilder fight with us in Las Vegas, or team fight with us in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Couldn't make it, but we have him on the show today.
My wife took my money. Yep, that's what happened.
It happens to all of us.
You got to do like Don, keep your stash on the side, you know?
Yeah.
That's right. Mine is in Bitcoin. They don't know nothing about that mine.
Yeah.
Digital world confuses them over here.
Get it in crypto.
This is cryptocurrency.
Oh, man.
Well, happy to have you on the show. First of all, as always, what are you drinking, my friend?
Man, you know what I'm drinking? Bullet bourbon with a little iced tea in a nice little Yeti cup with 2 ice cubes. And that's my adult beverage for the evening.
Very good.
See, Brandon has something in common with me, man. We got the Southern Comfort with the iced tea, baby.
Oh, man, you can't beat it. You can't
and
beat it.
And the Saints jersey. Look at that.
Exactly.
Oh, y'all on team together. Y'all two on the same team then.
Bro, home team. We ain't gonna never
Home team.
Home team.
Very nice. And you class of 89, is that right, Brandon?
Yeah, class of 89. Yep.
Okay.
Good class, bro.
So what
Class
class?
89.
What class do we got?
35, 89, class of 89.
Oh man, yes indeed. We used to ride around there and holler at y'all women until y'all wanted to fight.
Y'all did it all the time.
Till y'all wanted to fight. We wasn't about that fight life.
And
Nah,
Don,
we had to get out of there before. We had to get out of there before John McDonough came in.
Man, that's a whole other podcast, bro.
Well, guys, my guy Brandon is an avid fight fan. We talk fights all the time.
Oh yeah.
Let me get your take on the Gervonta Davis Santa Cruz matchup that happened this weekend. Tell me what your thoughts.
I was okay. So I got my little notes and all that. You know, I'm trying to be professional.
There you go.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm gonna say this: I wasn't a Gervonta Davis fan because I thought he was gonna be another Adrian Bronner.
Okay.
Get fat, get that money, and you know he had gained all that weight. He was looking like me. So I was like, man, this dude, man. I was like, he's gonna be another Adrian Bronner getting there. Don't want to throw no hands, and I just wasn't impressed. Then he had he was beating the girl up and all that personal stuff was going on. So I really thought he was washed up
Right.
at an early age. Then he got with Floyd. He humbled himself, got with Floyd, and you can see some aspects of Floyd's game last night in that fight. You can see his movement. You can see how he was working and stuff like that. And so I was happy to see that. But first, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't an Adrian Bronner fan at all. And it wasn't a Gervonta Davis fan at all. Mm-hmm. But he really impressed me last night. Now, one thing I noticed is that Leo Santa Cruz, he was saying that he was going to gas in the 5th and 6th round. That was his prediction. Oh, man, he's going to gas and blah, blah, blah. He thought he was from the 8th round of 2.0. And he finally, he didn't know what happened to him. So, he thought he was going to gas. But let's talk about him bringing back the Mexican killer outfit, first of all.
Right, Gervonta
Davis.
He brought back Floyd. Yeah, he brought back the Mexican killer when he fought De La Hoya. And I thought that was good. I didn't know the rapper he was with, but hey, that's a whole nother story.
Well, that's good. Don, you're the one that alerted me to it because, hey, truth be told, I bragged all over the internet saying that I won the first fight with Lopez, but I lost my bet. I put $50 and I lost my bet this time because I thought Santa Cruz was gonna outbox him. So I'll put my own graphic up, say that I lost the bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put the X. But Don, give us your opinion what you saw.
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you what. So the first 2 rounds he came out, he did like Floyd, kind of feeling everything out. First 2 rounds, I gave Santa Cruz the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
Because he was pressing the fight, he looked good, he looked fresh. Your boy, even he pushed my man down, Davis down. He pushed Tank down. Santa Cruz was really pressing the fight. Then Floyd came out with, you saw Floyd with the hat and the Jewish Amish looking bow tie. Floyd whispered something in his ear, and after that, the whole fight changed, bro. Mm-hmm. He went to breaking him down like a mechanic. And even though I like now Leo Santa Cruz, he was still throwing punches. He didn't back down. He didn't, fall short, but he kept going. And also what I love that Tank, he kept hitting him with that uppercut all night. Mm-hmm. Every time he walked in there, he was giving him an uppercut. Bam, mm-hmm. Bam. And I said, man, that uppercut is nasty. Mm-hmm. It was nasty looking. And man, next thing you know, it was 3 to, so I think he won the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
And then from 3 to 6, Davis kind of took over.
Right.
Floyd kept coming with that old Amish hat. He was telling some old Jewish Amish secrets.
And a Bugatti horse carriage.
Yeah. Hit him with that old Illuminati stuff. And man, I'm telling you, from 3 to 6, he dominated. And then 6, you know what happened in 6? They was in the mix. They was trading like a corrupt stockbroker. And man, next thing you know, that left came, lights out, number of white folks in the room with suits and masks on. Talking about, hey, champ, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Don't worry about it, champ. It wasn't your night.
I'm going to tell you, I love Brandon's analysis there, especially with the stockbrokers and all that good stuff. Leo Santa Cruz is known for an endurance fighter and known for keeping boxers at his length, using his jab and occasionally peppering them with his right hand. And he's also known to outlast fighters in the ring. You know, he's able to have that endurance. But when you looked at Gervonta Davis and what he was bringing to the table, I always wondered, is he going to be able to get inside those long arms of Santa Cruz?
Yes.
He allowed Santa Cruz to feel relaxed. I mean, he gave him enough, like you're saying, through the third through the sixth round. You could see Gervonta Davis kind of turn it on a little by little, but he allowed Santa Cruz. Okay, you're going to throw that left hand jab. Okay, I'll take that. He took a right. Santa Cruz tried to go back again with the same right, and then he tried to go to the well one too many times. Yeah, and Gervonta Davis made him pay for it because he does have power in both hands. The cat does have power in both hands. And you can't
I kind of forgot that he had that much power.
Well, he got power.
He had been a while. And, man, he dropped that kid. And everybody, you saw the way he fell, the way he hurt his knee. He damn near tore all his meat in his knee up.
Yeah.
I was like, God, no. But, and everybody, I mean, but it was crazy. This would happen. So we were having a family movie, and I'm watching the fight on my phone. And I reached.
Wait.
Yeah.
You got booted on fight night, dog, for family movie night, and you watching on the phone? You're not
and
watching
what was the movie?
Screen, a pay-per-view?
Man, we watched
Mulan on Disney Plus, dog?
Brother, we watched some John Cena movie, dude. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh no,
it was horrible.
No, bro.
But it was one of the family commitments that I couldn't get out of. I tried to fake an injury, but they wouldn't let me out of it.
You got to be so irritable sometimes that they kick you out. That's what you got to be sometimes.
You know? That's right.
Fritos, make it seem like a big idea.
Did I tell you I don't want to get no Fritos? I hate this.
They ain't let them off the hook that easy.
Man. And so what happened
was irritable, boy.
I turned away, told something to my son. I came back. Next thing you know, everybody in the room talking about, hey, whoa. Everybody was in the ring going crazy. And I'm like, that hook the uppercut came so fast.
Man. Yeah. See?
So this is the thing, guys. Who do you think he moved to 135? Who do you think he's gonna fight? Lopez? I looked on Twitter, Ryan Garcia talking crazy, Gary Russell Jr. talking crazy. Everybody, it's an empire. It's like an empire. Everybody going crazy now.
T, go ahead. We talked about this earlier. Go ahead, T.
Well, first of all, I want to say, as a Mexican fighter, if you get more handsome, then you got to let that bravado go down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The uglier you are, you can get that bravado to go up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leo Santa Cruz is a little too handsome for trying to mix it up with Gervonta Davis. As long as he kept it at the end of that jab, he was fine. But that bravado, the Mexican fighter bravado came in, and he stayed in the pocket way too long.
See, that's why Canelo is the best. Because he's somewhere between handsome and unattractive.
Yeah, I like that.
Right in between there. So he can brawl with you, or he can box right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Great.
But so there's a lot of I don't think Gervonta Davis wasn't going to last at that weight class anyway.
No.
Because, I mean, you got somebody like Devin Haney who's a speedster at that weight class. Santa Cruz is there. They're saying that Santa Cruz actually should fight Lomachenko, take a little time, and they should fight each other.
Yeah.
But I think Gervonta Davis has to, like you said, Brandon, has to cut so much weight.
Yeah.
He has to be supremely disciplined to get that weight. So his natural order is to go up. But his strength will carry, but the people who got to take the punches are now, that's going to be better. You can see with Lopez. Yeah. He took all of Lomachenko's punches that would naturally knock down a lot of people.
Yeah,
but he don't want to talk about. He talking about getting to Lopez. I don't think you want that smoke because Lopez is trying to move up. You know.
Yeah. Floyd put out a little memo. He was saying that he needs to get a couple more fights before he can fight Lopez. Yeah.
And Gary Russell Jr. he fights every 2 years anyway, so he's never gonna be.
He just need a check. He want a check, man. He was riding away.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And then off the ticker tape, Lopez has to have 5 weeks off surgery. He needs foot surgery after that last fight.
I saw that.
I didn't know that. Okay.
You know what Brandon brought up with Floyd working as his promoter and kind of in his corner, really brought up the professionalism, and we'll have that topic. Maybe next week that'll be a topic. We talk about Don and I always go back and forth on who we think is the greatest fighter, okay?
Of all
time. But that professionalism, Brandon, you talked about, Gervonta Davis would routinely miss weight. You know, he surprised everybody. Like Floyd is a guy who he missed weight once. I think when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, he came in a little bit higher and had to pay a penalty. But that's all that is part of being a professional. The time that you come in shape, to camp in shape, not to camp out of shape trying to work in shape, to make weight, whatever the catch weight is. All those little things is what makes somebody go from a good fighter to a great fighter. Exactly. And that influence that Floyd had on him is wonderful. And also, I think Don and I talked about this when I actually saw the replay of the 3 right hands that he threw. He threw the first right hand and landed. Yeah. And Gervonta Davis stopped. Then he landed the second one. He tried to load up a little bit more on the second one. Yeah. Then he planted his feet and tried to throw the right hand. And then, as you can see, they worked on the big right hand from Santa Cruz. Oh, yeah. He just slipped it a little bit and came right from up under and threw that kettlebell on him and got him out.
He was knocked out before he fell down. He was out.
Before he hit the ground. So the preparation was there for Gervonta Davis. Oh, yeah. The professionalism, the preparation was there. And you just wonder if that's going to carry on, for the rest of his career, if this is a one-off thing. Yeah. But you're taught in boxing to count to 3. And if a guy is still standing in front of you, move. Don't just stand there. Even if he's not doing it, you're not doing anything. And he stood in the pocket too long. He threw those 3, like Don said, went to the well one too many times. You don't want him to be in the corner. He's a smaller man. You don't want to be in the corner with a little guy who's got power. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, the guy still stand. Move. Get out, because you don't know what's coming next. And he still don't know what punch hit him. I bet it's not like a meteor hit him,
No, he didn't know, man. He was out before he hit the ground. And Tank is like an assassin, bro. You turn your head, next thing you know, you're dead.
He's fast. He's quick, too.
Deathstroke, right.
Yeah. Now, see, I thought he was just a quick fighter. No, he got power.
No, he got power.
Yeah, both hands.
I don't know if David is going to bring this up. And I don't know, Brandon, if you saw this Instagram video released by Deontay Wilder. But he is claiming that Fury fixed his gloves and actually put in a foreign object in his boxing glove.
Like an oval shaped egg.
Like an oval shaped egg.
That sounds like Mid-South Wrestling, a foreign object.
And truth be told, looking at one of the corner videos that he submitted, you could see that the glove moving around and his bare knuckles kind of to the end of where the glove would normally fit around your wrist. So we've seen boxers do that before. I just kind of wanted to know y'all ideas or take on that.
Let me ask you a question. Didn't the referee certify the gloves before? Don't he go in there and sign the gloves? He was checking them?
Well, yes. Your trainer, this is what's supposed to happen. Your trainer goes in his dressing room and his trainer goes in yours. And they're supposed to sign off on the hand wraps. And they don't normally check the gloves. Okay, but the hand wraps are supposed to be signed off by your trainer. His trainer's supposed to sign off on mine. The gloves are pre-approved during contract time. And Tyson Fury made a late change, and Wilder and them signed off like 24 hours or 48 hours, saying it don't matter what kind of glove. They made a late change outside the contract to change the gloves. And it's a set of gloves he has never used in any professional fight, Tyson Fury, before. He made that change about 48 hours before the fight. And Tyrone astutely noticed when we were watching the pay-per-view over at God's house, when the gloves came in the box, and the commentator said, and the gloves have arrived, Tyson Fury's older brother, took a towel and put it over the camera.
I remember that, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's what goes on with the hand wraps and with the gloves, pre-box.
And also what happens is once you see the fighters choose their gloves, right? Mm-hmm. And then they seal them up. And then they're supposed to open up during the night of the match. And then when they open it up, you approve it. But you didn't see, like Dave said, being a new pair of gloves. But one of his sparring partners came out before and said that he had ripped the padding out of the glove in the sparring session in order to cut him up and beat him up and stuff like that. But they just ignored that. But when they put that towel over it like that.
Yeah, it was suspect.
Yeah, very suspect.
The only thing, and I don't mean to monopolize comment, but the only thing that
you're in for 10 minutes, bro. You got to get yours in while you can. Go ahead.
Exactly. The only thing that kind of messed me up, that made me kind of question Deontay Wilder, is that he questioned Mark Breland.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either.
In the game. This is an OG in the game that's been all over the place. and he said that Mark Breland tainted his water. He did this. He made him get a circumcision, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, he did the same thing Kovalev did. Kovalev was blaming everybody when he lost.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that.
Lose credibility from all that. Now I don't hear none of you guys.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
It sounds like he's whining.
Yeah,
and I think you got to take your licks for not coming through with the right game plan.
Took the licks.
You talked about that a couple of episodes ago, where he actually had a great game plan against Fury the first time, but I think there was a little cockiness in Deontay Wilder's corner, and like Ty was saying, his own bravado of being able to knock the man down in the first fight twice. That he felt like automatically he had it, but you got to understand, it's a fight game. People cheat. Margarito was known to have the plaster in his hands.
Yes,
exactly. His gloves are signed off, but he cut Cotto up some bad the first fight and won that fight at the end. All of a sudden, it comes out later that Margarito had tainted the gloves and put plaster of Paris in his wraps. So, it's not beyond Tyson Fury to cheat. It's definitely not beyond him, especially if he feels he doesn't have the power to, really knock out Wilder, and he didn't want to go to another split decision. But now, this is the question. What is Wilder going to do differently now that you have all these variables out there? What are you and your team going to do?
Yeah, that's why I said that he shouldn't whine like he's whining, because he said that his what's his name, Jay, his main trainer, co-trainer, he said that he might have been on it. Yeah. He said this, but really, man, you don't know how to fight going backwards.
Exactly.
So why don't you deal with that aspect? Just be a hush about the whole training camp. Bring people in that's going to work on your weakness and stuff like that. This is a perfect time to learn how that you got shoulder surgery. Work on your legs. Work on your footwork. Exactly. If you are this supreme athlete, and another thing that Don said, he had all these excuses. Remember, he had an excuse, said that his leg was hurt going into the fight.
Yeah, everything.
Take your bravado out the way, bro. You're a professional. You got everything to lose. Nobody wanted to fight you at the beginning. Yeah. Why are they going to give you another shot at fighting if you lose? You got to reschedule the fight if you got a major injury, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. Just don't say anything. If you living and dying by the sword, this is a business. A lot of people die by the sword, but ain't making no more money for their family. They're gone. Yeah. Get in there, man. Work on your weaknesses. If your shoulder's messed up, you can work on your legs. We know that his right hand was hurt, and he worked on his left. It was the best thing that ever happened to him for his right hand to be hurt. Now you got to work on fighting a taller man and working backwards. You don't know how to do that. So be quiet until you do that.
So my thing is this. I don't agree with what you said, but a little subtle difference is. Number one, if your leg is hurting, bro, don't come in dressed like Galvatron. Just like Galvatron. When they introduced Starscream, there's a new league. That's like he came in. Just like, don't come in like Galvatron. That's number one. Okay.
Transformer.
Number two. This is where I disagree with Tyrone. Most of Wilder's knockouts come from, not most, a lot of them come from him going backwards. Okay. Where a guy, he sucks a guy in and he times him right at the last second. He just can't go backwards against a dude that's taller than him. Because honestly, when you're 6'7", when do you ever face a dude that's taller than you? See, when a guy can walk forward on you and touch you while he's walking forward, see a little guy at 6'2", 6'3", or something, they got to leap forward at you. And you don't have to go nowhere because they're taking a chance coming in on you. But a bigger man can touch you while he's walking forward on you. Okay,
it's not just a bigger man. It's a bigger man with
more skill.
With a lot more skill and quick hands, fast hands.
Yes, right. And if I was Wilder, this was the time to work on the weaknesses. Mm-hmm. To me, it's not overhaul your game plan because he can touch you and put you to sleep at any point, round 1 or round 12. Yeah. So you don't need to change to become a whole different fighter. You just got to change to beat this guy. Then you could go back to your same style and knock out the Anthony Joshuas, the Derek Chisoras, the Usyks of the world. Is going to work on them. To me, I think the thing is he got to get off that back foot, plan on that back foot that he's too stiff because he's trying to throw a laser on you every single punch, and he's got to get mobile and get his lateral movement to go side to side because it's too much forward and back, forward, back. He's athletic enough to go side to side, and the beauty of him is all you have to do is catch somebody with one thing that they've never seen before, and Deontay Wilder, as you say, all you're going to see is the light bulbs, the recessed lights, and afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
And with Wilder, man, I think maybe he doesn't have to fight Tyson Fury. Maybe he goes to talk to Joshua and all these different fighters. Because I think Tyson Fury is just a bad matchup for him.
It is. But to me, they're going to freeze him out if he doesn't fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The only reason he had any chance with Joshua is because he held that WBC belt. Okay, but now it's out of his hands. He's older than the rest of them. He's older than Fury and he's older than Joshua. They're going to wait 3 or 4 years till he's almost 40 years old before they fight him. And that was the only card that he had. It is a bad matchup for him, but you got to fight Fury to get back in the mix because who else going to want to fight you, especially if you don't have a belt? Why am I fighting Wilder? He don't have a belt. That's not going to put me in the infirmary.
No.
Yeah. And it was crazy. I watched the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on there, and he was saying that, he was making all kind of excuses. He said, Tyson Fury, he a gypsy, and they got all kind of voodoo stuff. I'm like, dude, come on, you too big to be
You came in with a voodoo suit on. You had the voodoo.
Bro, yeah, you talking Wilder?
Yeah, Wilder came in all the voodoo stuff, man.
I mean, come on, Wilder, you tripping.
Bro, and his face mask from New Orleans.
Let me say this I'm glad you brought up Joe Rogan, bro. And I'm gonna use this opportunity right now. I'm tired of these podcasters and sportscasters who have never played a lick of any sport. Joe Rogan has done a little bit of fight, okay?
Yeah.
Which I'll give him that, okay? The Max Kellermans of the world,
Oh, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, none of them have played any of these sports that they commentate. They claim to be experts. Hey, if you're gonna be a boxing historian, that's fine. But don't go in there talking about Tyson Fury all of a sudden has power. When has anyone ever seen a fighter be 6'9", 2-something, couldn't knock anybody out, and then all of a sudden in one fight he turns into a killer against Deontay Wilder? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I'm like, all the sportscasters, if y'all want to play a game of basketball or something, I'm ready to take on the Sharif Ishaks of the world, one of the Mackle twins. Let's see how much you know about these games that y'all talk.
Wait, he was knocking people out when he was on steroids, though, Tyson Fury.
Which is another thing. You can't put it past him that he's going to cheat. He's cheated. He got busted 2 times before for steroids.
Exactly. It's crazy, man. It's
Hey, what y'all think about on the undercard of Mike Tyson and Roy Jones?
Oh,
they
man.
got Nate. What's
Nate
the
Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
Jake Paul.
Fight your boy.
Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation.
I'm going to have to pull my son in for that one because I don't even know about this YouTube guy, Jake Paul and all this other stuff. And Nate Robinson must need a check because goofy fight. It's just goofy, man.
Hey, they said that he's in the best shape you've ever seen. One of his friends who's an NBA player said,
yeah,
we've always seen Nate Robinson as this phenomenal athlete. But he said his conditioning right now is on a whole nother level.
Well, I hope he knock out. I hope he really knocks out Jake Paul because he makes all these videos and he fought this other YouTube guy a while back.
KS1 or something like that, yeah.
KSI. He fought KSI.
Yeah, that's it, right.
Yeah. And but I hope Nate as an athlete just beats the brakes off Jake Paul, man. Stop this foolishness. They had these videos of him sparring with like the butcher from Subway. The next raging bull. No, you're fighting a Uber driver. Come on, man, stop. But hey,
it wins by any means necessary.
Right. Yeah, it's the views. I understand this. My son watches the video. It's TikTok. It's come on, man.
Hey, maybe you can get a tuna sub out that bad boy. You beat it.
Did I tell you no mayonnaise on my sandwich? Did I tell you that?
What do you think about the Tyson on Roy Jones? It's on the 28th, right?
Yes, sir.
November 28th.
Yes, sir.
I think Roy Jones might have bit off a little more than he could chew on this one. He was kind of slow coming out the game, and now Tyson looked like he ramping up. Roy Jones looked like he's slowing down. So I'm a little worried.
I think Mike Tyson been smoking so much weed now.
Oh, man.
He might forget that it is an exhibition match.
Hey, bro, that dude does not have an exhibition match style, bro.
No.
He does not have a style to carry anybody rounds and feel people out. Seek and destroy is that dude's only style. So
yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna be in a wheelchair for nobody's charity unless the charity is me.
Yeah,
What's that rapper? What's that rapper he called out, bro? He was smoking a blunt when he called him out,
Boosie.
bro.
Lil Boosie.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah. Boosie got pale white.
Lil Boosie got his mind right. I don't know
He
what I
said
was
it.
saying, man. I messed up. I said some stupid stuff, man.
Yeah.
Bro, he had Lil Boosie about to lead the Decadence Parade next year, bro. He had
Yeah.
Boosie,
Type of
I
like-
changed.
Man, it
He
got
was Jimmy Swagger. I have sinned. I changed.
It felt like it was Angola in there. I was like, damn.
Tyson was like, you don't talk about people like that. I was like, damn.
Bruh.
Oh,
He
man.
changed his whole outlook change on that.
He
bruh.
changed
He
everything.
was smoking that cigar like the Godfather on him.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you, you don't talk about folks like that. It comes- everything comes through me. Everything.
Everything. So Boosie changed his whole outlook. He got the rainbow flag on his profile, probably. Called TV to apologize, took his son to dinner, everything. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a good podcast. That's a,
Lil Boosie gonna be on Grindr next.
oh man.
What's it gonna be swiping? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of hype, just if you catch the last little tip of what the announcer was saying in the Santa Cruz tank fight, he was
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
ready to say, the Santa Cruz is not going to fall for.
Yeah.
Let's go. Boy, if you could have saw a picture of the announcer face when he was making that comment, and I'm like, look at him, overhyping this man.
Yeah.
So,
That was Bernstein or something like that. What's his name? This guy's name? Alex
Yeah.
Bernstein.
yeah,
I can't think his name.
bruh.
He was like talking about he won't fold. Next thing you know, he's out.
Bruh, that's like I did a Carl Lewis when he did the national anthem. He said, Santa Cruz, uh-oh! And the Rockets, red glare, uh-oh!
I really thought he was dead, man. I thought somebody commented on my Facebook. We thought he was dead, dude. The way he laid there, he didn't move. He wasn't moving.
He was bad, bruh. He
It's
felt
the
bad.
hits you don't see. It's
Yeah.
the hits that don't see. You
Yeah.
don't see get you.
Yeah.
And whenever you see somebody head go like that,
Yeah.
and
That's
it's not a
bold.
chiropractor, it's not a chiropractor doing it, you out,
Yeah.
Chief.
a bad angle.
With that bowl.
That's a Liam Neeson move.
Too.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Bad angle, boy. And he hit the ground so hard. Then his knee was all twisted up. I'm like, oh man, it's just nasty all around. It was just nasty, dude. Now I didn't see the undercard fights, but I heard they had some pretty good fights. So my man,
We're doing family movie night. You can't waste your time on no undercard.
exactly. Dude, I gotta watch.
You gotta go to the bathroom for the big fight. Go excuse yourself and watch it in the bathroom.
So my man from New Orleans won. My man,
They just Pedro, yeah.
Famous program? Okay,
Yeah.
Rougarou. All right.
yeah, he won the fight. He won.
He was a little bit heavy though, right? Didn't he not make
Yeah.
weight?
Yeah, he trying to do, I don't know. So y'all ever heard this guy named he's from New Orleans, Zero. This guy, I'm gonna tag you in some of his posts. He's a local fighter, and he fought on like an undercard for Regis Pro Grades for a while. But he's pretty good. He's pretty nice.
What weight division?
Man, maybe like 145. He's a slim guy. He's real slim.
Okay.
Regis got to fight Josh Taylor again to try to get his, get himself back in.
Yeah. To get some, yeah. Josh Taylor was a beast, man. He hit Josh Taylor with everything. Josh Taylor was like, nah, dog, I ain't going. They was in the homeland. It was in Josh Taylor's backyard. So
Right.
yeah,
That weight class right now is just filled with killers at 145. You still got Spence. You still got Terrence Crawford. Nyong'o is still dangerous out there. You still got Keith Thurman. You still got Sean Porter. You got Prograde. I mean, all of that is stacked. You got one of them Charlo brothers too.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a dangerous place to be anybody, in my opinion. Anybody could beat anybody, on the right or the wrong night at that time. So 140-something is a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, that's a dangerous place, yeah.
No, the Charlo brother moved up. He's in 147, I believe.
I mean, you 2 pounds out of 145, they can still make that match.
Yeah, you can make it.
Ain't nobody trying to go up there to fight with them Charlo brothers, bro.
Man, them some angry little dudes, bro.
Boys, man, them boys is wild, man. Them boys.
Hey, wow, for sure.
One dude fighting the ring, the other one fighting the audience during the fight.
Yeah, you don't know who you fighting.
Right.
He might have subbed in that middleweight on me. I don't know which one I'm fighting.
And then they go to crying and all that. They just emotional. And
Right. Well, what about Terrence Crawford and Kell Brook?
Man, I like.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Cox Gable.
Uh-oh. Carl Lewis.
We're going to
Got
get
you
it back,
frozen.
Sean.
Carl Lewis, bro.
Let it go, let it go. You frozen, bro.
Frozen, bro.
Oh, there you go.
You back, bro. You was frozen,
I'm back.
bro.
You know, it's the hurricane internet.
So, bro, don't you do ITI for a living? Why is your junk free?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you say
You
you
still
had a
has to
hurricane?
connect with a service provider, Dave. You act like the man got his own service provider.
Hurricane Delta Sigma got him, bro.
Did he say he had a hurricane, or was this a hurricane thing?
I got the hurricane internet special.
Okay.
The Intergy guy came and hooked up your cable.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So you were saying about Kell Brook. You were talking about Kell Brook and Crawford.
Oh yeah. I like Crawford. Until I see anything different, man, I'm gonna go with Crawford, man. I like his style. He can hit. He can move. You know, I haven't seen anybody that can really touch him. You know, what do y'all think?
What about Spence, Brandon?
Man, that's a. I want to see it. You know, man, I'm tossed up between the two. That's 50.
Crawford got such a mean streak.
Yeah.
That last fight that he fought that little Russian dude, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he was letting the dude hit him in the face. Like he didn't have to.
Yeah,
but he did. Just to get mad on the dude.
Yeah. Bud, his mom is crazy. Bud, mom is crazy. So
seems crazy.
His mama make me fight a crocodile the way she
yeah. So he don't give a damn.
Whatever, get in that ring.
All right, mama.
Yeah, you know, my thing comes down to I'm a big proponent of conditioning. If you put those two things that's equal and one is in condition and one is not, I'm always going to go with the fighter who's in better condition.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford for me is that guy. Errol Spence is a drinker. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a drinker.
Oh, he stopped. He said he stopped since he got that car accident. Since he came out that car crash.
He's the best conditioned drinker I have ever seen.
I'm telling you.
Because I ain't never seen nobody throw that many punches in his last 3-4 fights and body shots. I mean,
he said
body shots.
Wait, he said he wasn't in condition for that Mikey Garcia fight.
Well,
he said himself.
Michael Garcia couldn't touch him.
Well, yeah,
he was a drinker, bro. He's admitted he's a drinker. Even Floyd Sr. said, "Man, we can't lose to no drunk." When he was talking about him fighting Floyd, possibly, he said like he was from New Orleans. We ain't fighting for no drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's Spence.
So
bro.
always go with the guy who's in better condition, and Crawford is that guy. Both of them can sharpshoot from the outside, but Terrence is left-handed. So, you know, I always go with the better conditioned guy. But guys, got to tell you, we're over our time limit. I really enjoyed the show. Brandon, we got to have you back on again.
Oh, man, anytime, man. Let me know. I'll be there.
Man, I sure will. We have a lot more to talk about. Maybe next week we'll conquer this thing since we're on a fight kick on who's the greatest fighter of all time. Everybody come with your stats. And
I'm going to come with my stats. You got it.
And we'll put it out on Facebook afterwards. If one person proves their point, who you think it is, and who proved their point best about who's the greatest of all time.
Hey, so Brandon, I'm gonna go to Subway, Brandon, see if I can drum up some business to try to fight some of these dudes, bro.
Yeah, you get a Subway, you go in the back and fight somebody, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for including me, man.
Not a problem, bro. When this COVID calms down, bro, you're always welcome to go to the next fight with us, bro. You know.
Man, look, I'll be there. I'll make sure the wife don't take all my money, and I'll be there.
Good stuff, fellas. Thanks again for having us on Shoot the J. We'll see y'all next Friday. Granted, there's no hurricane in my backyard at that time, no internet. So thanks again, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.